the greatest game in human history. Donkey Kong Bananza released recently, and the reactions were, let's say, positive. Something very satisfying about leveling entire continents and just being a horrible influence to the kid you're with. The game is so good, it almost makes me wish the game and the console weren't $520. I'm poor. But don't take my word for it, I've never even played the game. Take the word of the average reviewer who also hasn't played the game. This does not count as playing the game. Game reviewers are a bit of a laughingstock. If you spend 3 minutes on a 30-second tutorial, maybe this shouldn't be your career. McDonald's is hiring, you know. The words of gaming reviewers are usually laughed at, unless they fit your opinion, in which they're gospel. Though chances are you know of gaming reviewers through their pretty dumb opinions. Regardless, let's see what they rated Donkey Kong Bananza. Same guys who did too much water. Bananza getting a 10, aside from making me remember that life's worth living, made me think. After GTA 6 crapped its pants and had to go home, the only other 2 contestants for Game of the Year are Clair Obscur and Death Stranding 2. And from most sources, both of them have a 9. What did those games do to lose the 10, and what did Bananza do to earn it? Okay, to be fair, Death Stranding's director said the game was too good and they had to change stuff to make it more polarizing. How does one achieve this level of game dev? But I still think there's more to it. I think there's an X factor that makes a game a 10 out of 10. Aside from having Donkey Kong. And through looking at games with widely scored 10s, we'll find that X factor. Something game reviewers love is innovation, revolution, groundbreaking games that make new ground and make their own ground. Okay, there are many terms for this. Games like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild are easy 10s. Big open environments, lots to do, lots to discover. First of their series to try this style. Think of Elden Ring too. Souls-likes are already a very highly rated genre, and pair it with a vast open world and great combat, that's an easy 10. But then you have games that are a little bit more focused. What does Mario Golf do to earn a 10 out of 10? I'm sure it's a good game, but you think Mario Golf and Elden Ring are on the same level? Can you see Game of the Year going to Mario Golf? Can you see it going to Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure? Were those games revolutionary? If you want revolutionary, is Pong a 10 out of 10? No, apparently it has no rating, and one of its remakes has a 2 out of 10. It gets incredibly hard to define what's a 10 out of 10 game. Like, it needs to be good, and it needs to be a game. But then, what's defined as good? What's defined as a game? Should IGN start giving sports rankings now? Oh yes, volleyball, truly a 7 out of 10. I think it's a waste of both of our time to try and generalize what makes a 10 out of 10. It's gonna be different for every game. But what we can try to do is generalize the usage of the word that comes with a 10 out of 10. You would think that the word associated with a 10 is perfect. That then opens up the can of worms that is, can a game be considered perfect? And at that point, just meditate spiritually on the answer, because this is not a conversation we're having. One perfect game exists and it's Kirby Does His Taxes. Well, in that case, what is the word? I, and IGN, always viewed it as masterpiece. Google's definition of a masterpiece is a work of outstanding artistry, skill, or workmanship. My definition for it was something good. We can take this a bit further. The definition of artistry is creative skill or ability, and the definition of workmanship is a degree of skill in which something is done. Both of these extended definitions love to use the word skill. The word skill meaning the ability to do something. Okay, my definition of good was actually accurate. I was kidding. Looking at how Gamespot describes its 10 out of 10s, a game needs to be essential, and it needs to have something meaningful to offer us that it simply cannot be ignored. Which is a whole lot of yap to say good. There is a term GameSpot used that I think is spot on. Cannot be ignored. Going back to masterpiece, it uses the word outstanding, which is literally an anagram of standing out. It seems IGN agrees with this sentiment, as a 10 out of 10 for them is their highest recommendation. A masterpiece is a game you can't ignore. A game that you should try to get your hands on, for it gives something that is worth playing no matter what. That's the X factor. A game that has something you just can't ignore. That's what a game like Mario Odyssey, Kirby Does His Taxes Deluxe, or Donkey Kong Bananza has. Thanks for watching. Wait. What is this? This isn't the end screen. That's not even my name! Good Luck Guy died 5 years ago and I'm still trying to cover it up. Cool, we figured out what makes a game a 10 out of 10. Now, why do these games not have it? What's the why factor holding them back? And this answer is a bit more concrete. This guy, it may be hard to believe, but he's human. Yeah, those reviewers that give a low score to our favorite games are actually just like us. They speak like us, they poop like us, they do their taxes like us. And like us, they have biases. When your life's work is playing game after game after game and then writing about those said games, I think you get to know your preferences really quickly. And while they might be human, game reviewers play games differently than we do. They need to play a game, form an opinion, write it, phrase it well, and then publish it, and do that with a bunch of games. It's just not feasible for game reviewers to finish every game that they make a review on. I'm not gonna act like game reviewers play the tutorial and then make their review, but there's not enough time in the world to finish every game. And when you're playing a game to make a review on it, it can be easy to find nitpicks, cons that can lower the score, especially if the game starts out slow. Then take a game like Donkey Kong Bananza, which immediately drops you into gorgeous fun, and a lot of gorgeous fun. Maybe that one will score higher. Look, I'm not gonna act like I know what every single game reviewer in the world thinks, but they're human, they'll never truly be objective, they have subjective opinions. And in the end, what does a review matter? Just because a guy you don't know says a game is 1 point away from a 10 doesn't mean that it can't be a 10 in your eyes. What matters is your enjoyment of a game, not anyone else's, and if they think it wasn't as good as you think, they missed out. And personally, if I had to play Elf Bowling 1 and 2 for a grand total of more than 3 minutes, I think I'd be too mentally out of it to play Cuphead either. They gave Kirby Does His Taxes to a 0. Retract every single cheer you've given. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to make fun of game reviewers.
Full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Their takes can be a bit hot, but some people take it a bit more seriously. The word of game reviewers aren't final. Whatever they deem a 10 isn't what the world deems a 10. If you want to play the game of what deserves and doesn't deserve a 10, that's up to you. But for every game you say deserves a 10, there's a case as to why they don't. Just respect each other's opinions. We're all humans, except for the rats in my comments. We all do taxes. We're not so different. Speaking of taxes, I gotta do them. I'm a monetized channel now. I'm already rich, living off of my mansion, cut off all my day ones. All I need to do are finish these taxes. I just PayPal the IRS, right? I tried to plead the fifth.